Did you know it's not about size, muscles, or money? In fact, there are 3 simple traits that most women find irresistibly attractive in the bedroom, and they might surprise you. If you've ever wondered what really matters to women when the lights go out, stay with me. You won't want to miss the 3rd one. It's the most overlooked, yet the most powerful. Before we dive in, tap that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with someone curious like you. And hey, drop a comment below. Which trait do you think tops the list? Number 1, confidence. Let's start with something most people think they understand, but often get wrong: confidence. When women say they're attracted to confident men, they're not talking about cocky behavior, flashy clothes, or loud personalities. Real confidence is something quieter, deeper, and far more powerful. It's the way a man carries himself, the way he speaks with calm certainty, and most importantly, the way he makes others feel safe and seen. Think about it. When you walk into a room, you immediately pick up on energy. You feel when someone is comfortable in their own skin. He doesn't need to prove anything. He's not comparing himself to others. He's present. That kind of energy is magnetic, especially to women. Why? Because confidence signals something ancient: security. A confident man gives off the vibe that he can protect, provide, and remain calm under pressure. That he doesn't fall apart when life gets tough. And in the world of relationships, especially intimate ones, that sense of stability is incredibly attractive. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I'm not naturally confident? Here's the secret: confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Start by doing things that challenge you just a little bit each day. Speak up in conversations. Make decisions, even small ones, without second guessing. Keep promises to yourself. And most importantly, get comfortable with the idea that you don't need to be perfect to be worthy of love and attention. In fact, confidence often shines brightest when a man is able to say, "I don't know everything, but I'm open to learning." This applies especially in intimate situations. A confident man doesn't fake his way through sex or try to impress. He connects. He checks in. He pays attention. That's the kind of confidence that women remember, not bravado, but presence. Let's break it down into a few qualities that reflect true confidence in the bedroom and beyond. Body language: stand tall, shoulders back, chin up. Make eye contact, but not in a way that stares someone down, just enough to show you're engaged. Your body tells a story before your words do. A relaxed, open posture communicates confidence better than 100 fancy lines. Voice tone: women often respond to calm, steady voices. Speaking slowly and clearly, instead of rushing, signals that you're sure of what you're saying. You don't need to shout to be heard. Quiet confidence is usually far more attractive than volume. Emotional regulation: this is a big one. Confidence doesn't mean being emotionless, it means handling your emotions well. When you can remain grounded during conflict, express yourself clearly, and stay kind even when you're upset, it shows strength. Women notice this deeply. Self-acceptance: believe it or not, one of the most powerful ways to show confidence is to be comfortable with your flaws. When you can laugh at yourself, admit when you're wrong, or share a vulnerability, it shows you're not hiding. That's incredibly attractive. It tells her you're not performing, you're real. Respect for others: true confidence is never about putting others down to feel better about yourself. It's about lifting others up, listening, and creating a space where people feel respected. In relationships, this is golden. A confident man doesn't compete with his partner, he supports her. Let's bring it back to intimacy for a moment. A confident man doesn't pressure or rush. He pays attention. He notices her breathing, her facial expressions, her body language. He's not focused on his own performance, he's focused on connection. That's the secret most people miss. And that's what women are talking about when they say, "I love a confident man." So if you've ever doubted yourself, don't. You can become that man. Not by pretending to be someone you're not, but by slowly growing into someone who trusts himself, accepts himself, and respects his partner deeply. Confidence doesn't shout. It doesn't show off. It simply is. Number 2, emotional intelligence. there's something that matters even more than looks, money, or even physical performance in a relationship: emotional intelligence. And believe it or not, it's one of the biggest turn-ons for women, especially in long-term partnerships and intimate moments. So, what is emotional intelligence, and why is it so powerful? At its core, emotional intelligence means being aware of your own emotions, understanding the emotions of others, and responding to them in a thoughtful, respectful way. For women, a man who possesses this quality is incredibly attractive because it makes them feel seen, understood, and emotionally safe. And when a woman feels emotionally safe, she becomes more open, connected, and fulfilled, both emotionally and physically. Let's break it down further. Imagine you're spending time with someone who doesn't just hear your words, but actually listens. He notices when your tone changes, when your eyes shift, or when something feels off, even if you haven't said a word. He doesn't jump to conclusions or interrupt. He stays present. That man is tuned in. That man is emotionally intelligent. And that man is rare. In fact, emotional intelligence is often what separates a good relationship from a great one. Why women value emotional intelligence? You may have heard the phrase, women are more emotional. While that can be true in expression, it's not about one gender being more emotional than the other, it's about how we handle emotions. Women often feel most connected to partners who can meet them on an emotional level. It builds trust. And without trust, true intimacy is impossible. Women are biologically wired to seek safety and connection in relationships. When a man shows emotional intelligence, by staying calm during disagreements, by offering empathy during tough times, and by celebrating joyful moments with sincerity, he becomes someone she can trust deeply. That emotional connection opens the door to greater physical intimacy. 2. Emotional intelligence in action. Here are a few simple ways emotional intelligence shows up in everyday life and relationships. 1. Active listening. Instead of planning what you're going to say next, try fully focusing on what your partner is expressing. Nod, maintain eye contact, and respond thoughtfully. A man who listens well instantly earns respect and affection. 2. Recognizing emotions. Be mindful of her nonverbal signals. If she seems quiet, distracted, or withdrawn, gently ask if something's wrong, without pressuring her. This shows you care enough to notice and respond. 3. Staying calm in conflict. Disagreements are natural. But how you handle them makes all the difference. Emotional intelligence means taking a breath, avoiding blame, and using I statements instead of you always. That diffuses tension and keeps the connection strong. 4. Expressing your own emotions. Many men were raised to suppress emotions. But being able to say, I felt hurt by that, or I'm scared I might lose you, is powerful. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. And women love a man who can open up without shame. The bedroom connection. So how does emotional intelligence affect physical intimacy? It's everything. A man who is emotionally present creates an environment where a woman can relax, be herself, and express her desires without fear. He pays attention to her reactions. He asks, "Do you like that?" Or says, "Tell me what you enjoy." He understands that every woman is different, and he sees intimacy not as a goal, but as a shared experience. This kind of emotional sensitivity is what leads to unforgettable moments. It's not about what you do, it's about how you make her feel. And when she feels emotionally safe, she becomes more adventurous, more trusting, and more deeply connected. That's why emotional intelligence is the ultimate turn-on. It's not flashy, but it's rare, and it changes everything. How to develop it? You don't have to be a therapist to be emotionally intelligent. It's a skill anyone can learn. Practice empathy. Try to imagine how she feels before reacting. Ask questions. What do you need right now? Or how can I support you? Reflect. After a conversation or disagreement, think about what went well and what didn't. Stay curious. The more you learn about her emotions and your own, the stronger your bond will become. Emotional intelligence is quiet. It doesn't demand attention, but it earns admiration. It's the kind of strength that leaves a lasting impression. In today's world, where so many people feel misunderstood or unseen, being the man who truly gets it, who listens, who feels, who connects, is priceless, and the truth is, you already have what it takes. It starts with slowing down, tuning in, and choosing presence over performance. Number 3. Communication. If there's one trait that separates average lovers from unforgettable ones, it's this: communication. It might sound simple, but open, honest communication is one of the most powerful tools in building intimacy. And it's not just about talking more, it's about talking better. The best relationships are not built on guesswork, silence, or assumptions. They're built on conversations, real, meaningful, respectful ones. And when it comes to romantic and sexual connection, communication is the bridge between "it was okay" and "that was amazing." So why is communication so essential and so attractive? Let's start with what most women want: to feel safe, heard, and valued. In the early stages of a relationship or during intimacy, many women are thinking, can I trust him? Will he judge me? Will he listen to what I want and need? A man who opens the door to honest conversation answers those unspoken questions with a comforting yes. The misconception: it should just happen naturally. One of the biggest myths people believe is that good sex and deep connection should just happen. Like magic. No effort. No talking, but in real life, great intimacy is built, not born. And the way you build it is through communication, before, during, and after intimate moments, when you ask your partner what she enjoys, when you share your own desires. Or when you check in with her emotional comfort, you're not killing the mood, you're creating it. Communication isn't a mood breaker. It's a mood maker. Why communication is so attractive to women. Communication shows confidence. It shows care. And it shows that you're more interested in connection than in ego. Here's how it plays out in a relationship. 1. Before intimacy. Setting the tone is everything. A simple conversation like, I want this to feel good for both of us, or is there anything you don't like? Instantly builds trust. It tells her you care about her, not just the moment. That's powerful. 2. During intimacy. Great lovers don't guess, they ask. Do you like that? Want to try something new? Tell me what you want. These aren't awkward, they're electrifying. They turn the experience into something mutual and meaningful. 3. After intimacy. This is the part most men forget. A short conversation like, that felt really good. How about you? Makes her feel appreciated. It also creates an emotional bond that deepens over time, communication beyond words. Not all communication is verbal. In fact, a lot of what makes a woman feel connected is nonverbal. A gentle touch, eye contact, the way you hold her afterward, these all say, I'm here. I care. You matter. And remember, listening is just as important as speaking. Truly listening, without interrupting, without jumping to solutions, makes your partner feel valued and understood. That's when walls come down and hearts open up, the courage to be honest. Real communication requires a bit of courage. You have to be willing to say what you want, what you like, and what you don't. And just as importantly, you have to create a space where your partner can do the same. That doesn't mean forcing her to talk about uncomfortable things. It means letting her know it's safe to be honest with you. No judgment. No pressure. Just openness. You might say things like, is there anything you've always wanted to try? I'd love to know what makes you feel good. Tell me if something feels off. I want this to be good for both of us. These questions don't weaken attraction. They strengthen it. The long-term magic of communication. Over time, good communication builds a relationship that's unshakable. When you can talk openly about emotions, needs, and desires, you prevent misunderstandings, reduce resentment, and keep the connection fresh. Many long-term couples lose their spark because they stop communicating. But couples who keep talking, keep asking questions, and keep sharing experiences, they keep falling in love again and again. Quick tips for better communication. Be curious, not critical. Ask questions with kindness. Listen fully. No distractions. No problem solving unless she asks. Share without shame. Own your desires and needs respectfully. Celebrate honesty. Thank her when she opens up. Final thought. In the end, communication isn't just about words, it's about understanding. It's about showing your partner that she can bring her full self into the relationship and be met with care, presence, and respect, and that, more than anything, is what women find truly unforgettable. So the next time you think, should I say something? The answer is simple, yes. Speak up. Ask. Listen. Share. Because when you communicate with care, you build not just better intimacy, but a deeper, lasting bond. Conclusion. If you benefited from this video, even just a little, we'd truly love to hear from you. Which of the 3 numbers spoke to you the most? Was it confidence, emotional intelligence, or the power of communication? Your experience might help someone else watching feel understood too. So drop a comment below, even just one word or emoji can start a conversation. If you enjoyed this content, please like, share with someone who needs it, and don't forget to subscribe for more real, honest talk. Let's keep this open, respectful, and empowering for everyone. Your voice matters, share it with us.